We anticipate this one's going to be a bit different.
We are headed into alert day weather conditions. We'll show you how local road crews are preparing for tomorrow's winter weather. And questioning the removal of fluoride from the drinking water. Concerns from parents over their children's health. Plus, a local high school gets some state-of-the-art equipment. How one Milton company is giving students the chance to golf all year long. That's all coming up now on News 3 Now at 10. Good evening, everyone, and thanks for joining us. I'm Sarah Carlson. Eric Franke is off tonight. We begin with alert day weather conditions on the horizon. We're expecting some impactful snow, and dozens of schools have already closed. Chief Meteorologist Alex Harrington is on the weather patio. Not snowing yet, Alex, but not too far from now either.
Yeah, not too far from now. About 12 hours from now, snow will be entering the Madison area, give or take an hour or so. And by this time tomorrow night, we'll still be having snow falling out here on the patio, accumulating 3 to 6 inches across much of southern Wisconsin. I'm going to show you a map here in just a moment of where the highest amounts are going to be. But all of southern Wisconsin looks to see snow, especially from the dells and areas to the south and towards the east. This is for all day Wednesday and going into Wednesday night as well. Southwestern Wisconsin may start to see some of the snow as early as 6, 7, 8 o'clock in the morning. The rest of southern Wisconsin, we will see that snow break out, like I said, in Madison around 9, 10 or so, where we are under a winter weather advisory, winter storm warnings to southwestern Grant County, and winter storm warnings for a lake effect enhancement of snow across areas over towards the Milwaukee metropolitan area. This is the timing. Light snow starts in the morning hours, 8, 9, 10 o'clock. Then as we get towards the early to mid-afternoon hours, snow picks up in intensity. It's at its peak late afternoon through the evening hours. It will be an impactful drive tomorrow night if you have to drive during the Wednesday evening commute, as we will already accumulate at least a few inches of snow by that point in time, and then things eventually will start to ease up as we go a little bit later into the evening, going on into Thursday morning. This is our weather map. Widespread 3 to 6 inches of snow across all of southern Wisconsin. Latest weather models also bringing a little bit of that 6-inch amount up into southwestern Wisconsin. Could see a little bit more widespread in Grant, Iowa, Dane, Lafayette, Greene, Rock counties. More of that widespread 4 or 5, maybe an isolated 6-inch amount, with the 3 inches up towards the dells, up towards Camp Douglas. And again, if you're heading over an I-94 to the east, 6 to 9 inches because of the lake effect. This will be a dry, fluffy snow. Again, east lake effect enhancement, and we have more alert days in the future for more snow and bitterly cold temperatures, which I will give you a glimpse of coming up in Maine weather, and we'll also use Future Track to show you the start and end of Wednesday's snow.
All right, thank you, Alex. A lot to come. And as he just mentioned, we expect a good amount of snow to fall tomorrow, creating issues for drivers. Dane County leaders are looking to reassure the public that they are ready for this major snowfall. The Department of Transportation will deploy 62 snowplows across the county's more than 4,200 miles of highway. Dane County's executive says the road crews are well prepared for whatever amount comes down.
Our crews have been working diligently to monitor the forecast, and they are ready to begin clearing the roads as soon as the snow starts falling.
And the County Highway and Transportation Department is also asking everyone to please slow down and allow for room for all those crews out there to do their work. And now to the southern part of our viewing area in Rock County. People in Beloit will not be able to park their cars on city streets from 9 o'clock tomorrow morning until 4 o'clock Thursday afternoon. Now, both Beloit and Janesville have already declared a winter weather emergency. While many of us may be dreading that snow, though, there is a good population who's pretty excited.
First snowfall, really, of the season. We haven't been outside to play, and so the kids, I know, will be very excited.
The city of Beloit still has 4,000 tons of salt left, which city officials say will be plenty to make it through the rest of the winter season, along with roughly 25 pieces of equipment clearing streets and alleys and 16 clearing city parking lots and sidewalks. To stay up to date with the latest on this winter weather, please download our First Warn Forecast app. You can find out how much to expect and a list of the school districts that are already closed for tomorrow and will continue to be. You can download this for free in your phone's app store. Just search WISC app. weather. Residents in DeForest are continuing to question last week's vote by the village board to remove fluoride from the community drinking water. Our Maddie Heimsch brings us both the story of one mom concerned about her child's health and also insights from board members about why they voted the way they did.
People are scared because it's a health issue. It's not like putting in a pool or putting in a road. It has to do with people's kids.
Megan Harrier is a DeForest mom of 2.
I've heard, well, if there's no fluoride in the water, just brush your teeth more, which seems easy enough to say, but, when you have sensory processing difficulties, brushing your teeth more is just not an answer.
Her son Lucas has autism. In their house, that makes dental work a challenge and fluoridated water a blessing.
My son has problems with just what he puts in his mouth for eating, let alone, having fluoride treatments and taking pills.
Since the village board voted last week to remove fluoride from the community water supply, nearly 300 DeForest residents have signed this petition. But after a records request revealed communications between an outside anti-fluoride activist and village trustees, I took the records to the board members themselves. How do you respond to community members that feel like maybe you're listening to outside advocates more than your own constituents?
I don't have a right to stop somebody from coming and speaking in our public meetings. And I have a right to invite somebody to come and speak. Everybody has a right to come and speak.
She did email me 6 times. With information, her point of view, which anybody could do. You could have done the same thing.
Rebecca Witherspoon and Bill Landgraf were 2 of the 4 votes to remove fluoride, beating out 3 votes to keep it. After social media was flooded with concerns about the vote, I asked them both how they came to their decision.
It's my duty to, yes, listen to what the people are saying, but it's also my duty to mitigate any potential harm to the people at my village.
As for putting the issue on the ballot,
if we put everything on a referendum that happens to be controversial, we'll never get anything done.
I think we need to move on as a community.
But for parents like Megan, moving on just means more questions.
If I have to get fluoride treatments, my insurance doesn't cover this. How expensive is it going to be? What does this mean for my family?
Reporting in DeForest, I'm Maddie Heimsch, News 3 Now.
Thank you, Maddie. The village is scheduled to discontinue using fluoride March 7th. We have much more about this story on channel3000.com. Well, the family of the missing Beaver Dam teenage girl is holding out hope for her return home. Sophia Franklin has now been missing since February 3rd. In a post on Facebook, Franklin's family released a statement saying, quote, "There is so much on the horizon for you, Sophie. Hard things, yes, but good things too. And your family is here for all of it. We are not going anywhere. You just need to come back," end quote. Now, Franklin is believed to be with Gary Day, the father of her unborn child. The pair have been seen driving in Day's 2014 black Buick LaCrosse, and he's switching between multiple license plates. Last week, the Amber Alert for Franklin was extended to Arkansas. A Janesville man has been sentenced for the fatal shooting of his pregnant girlfriend. Logan Barkley was given life in prison for the murder of 22-year-old Kirsten Hansen. Hansen was found dead last April along Peace Trail near Afton Road. Barkley is eligible for extended supervision after serving 50 years in prison. Now, the trial against the man who allegedly hit and killed a woman who was walking in the middle of the Beltline has begun. The prosecution and defense both made their opening statements today. The woman's 2 cousins who were with her when she was hit last January were called to the stand. They say they were with the 23-year-old the whole day. Later, when they were taking her back to her father's house in Monona, they say the victim got more belligerent.
She did not want to be in that car. She wanted to get out. You'll hear that she was scratching them. She was kicking them. She was punching them.
Both cousins say after failing to get her out of the road, they turned back to the car in an attempt to use it to block traffic. And that's when they heard the boom. The judge told the defense that regardless of the victim's state of mind, the jury still has to find whether or not she knowingly refused to stop. Happy news now. A Milton-based company is helping Edgerton students play golf all year round in Wisconsin. Today, Edgerton High School showed off its newly renovated indoor golf space. The company Carl's Place, which manufactures and sells golf simulators, helped build this facility. School officials say this training room will allow their team to practice no matter the weather.
You only get a couple of months of good weather there, especially in Wisconsin. And so having a room like this extends it pretty much all year. So, you can, whether you're just, practicing a swing, working on specific shots, going out and practicing a specific course, it's here for you all the time, rain or snow, cold, too hot, whatever it might be, you can do it here.
Some lucky students. Edgerton High School girls golf coach hopes that the simulator gets more teens interested in the game as well. Well, when we come back at 10, we have even more alert days in the forecast, and Alex has the very latest. Plus, the King of Jordan meets with President Donald Trump. The conflict of opinion the two leaders have over what to do in Gaza. Stay with us.
You're watching News 3 Now at 10.
Welcome back, everyone. The King of Jordan paid a visit to the White House today, and President Trump's plan for Gaza was a central focus. Erica Brown reports from Capitol Hill.
Mr. President, are you confident the king will back your plan for the Palestinian people? The King of Jordan met with President Trump at the White House Tuesday, where the two leaders discussed the conflict in Gaza, and Trump reiterated his development plan for the area and proposal to relocate almost 2 million Palestinians.
We're going to take it. We're going to hold it. We're going to cherish it.
King Abdullah II is the first leader of an Arab nation to visit the White House in Trump's second term. He released a statement after their meeting saying he is firmly against the displacement of Palestinians from Gaza. He was less direct during his meeting with the president in the Oval Office.
We will be in Saudi Arabia to discuss how we can work with the president and with the United States. So I think let's wait until the Egyptians can come and present it to the president and not get ahead of ourselves.
President Trump doubled down on his warning that there would be consequences if Hamas does not resume the release of Israeli hostages. Hamas says it would delay the hostage release plan for this weekend, claiming Israel has violated terms of the ceasefire agreement. Israel denies the claims.
I have a Saturday deadline, and I don't think they're going to make the deadline personally.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says the war will resume if more hostages are not released Saturday, drawing protests in Tel Aviv.
We do not support what our government is doing, and we want our people back home.
It's essential for America to remain solvent as a country.
Elon Musk was also in the Oval Office today as the president discussed a new executive order he signed requiring federal agencies to consult with Musk's Department of Government Efficiency to shrink the size of the federal government. Erica Brown, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
In other news, the U.S. Department of Education oversees $1.6 trillion of student loan debt. But in recent days, President Trump has talked about possibly dismantling the massive federal agency. Business analysts say it's highly unlikely that the president can do that because it would take an act of Congress. But some are still recommending that borrowers be ready in case there is a disruption with that agency's website. It's very important to be able to prove that you've been paying your loans.
I'm directing everyone go to studentaid.gov. That's the federal website. And you want to start to actually grab the screenshot of all the information that is there. So that could be the loan amount, how much you've paid in, that could be the interest rate, that could be when it's due. And I think these are critical action steps to take to protect yourself.
Analysts say that all borrowers should change passwords often as well, use two-factor authentication, download records, and use auto pay. Well, the man accused of killing United Healthcare's CEO has officially accepted more than $300,000 in donations for his legal defense. 26-year-old Luigi Mangione faces murder and terrorism charges in New York for the death of Brian Thompson. Thompson, the 50-year-old husband and father of two, was gunned down outside of a Midtown Manhattan hotel back in December. Podcaster Sam Beard is a spokesperson for the fundraising committee that collected donations for Mangione's legal fees.
They're trying to give Luigi terrorism charges, right? School shooters don't even get terrorism charges. And it seems like in this context, the only people whose fear matters in this society is the ultra rich. Everyone is innocent until proven guilty, and this young man deserves a fair trial.
Legal experts troubled by the outpouring of donations say it may present a challenge for prosecutors to select a jury that will listen to the case and the evidence there. Well, the snow is finally heading our way with alert day conditions starting tomorrow and even more in the weekend. Chief Meteorologist Alex Harrington has more in all of the updated details.
Yes, 5 alert days that we're tracking right now, Sarah, in southern Wisconsin, and updates here to some of the amounts that we're going to talk about in just a moment. No changes to the actual headlines, the advisories and the warnings. Winter storm warning for Grant County. We have a winter weather advisory for much of the WISC viewing area. Winter storm warning still east over towards Lake Michigan. Though what's changed here a little bit is the 3 to 6 inches of snow still looking widespread across southern Wisconsin, but we're going to up the totals just by an inch or so for parts of southern Wisconsin as we get the latest weather models coming in. Still time frame all day Wednesday going on into Wednesday night as well. This time tomorrow night we'll still be having impacts here. The chance of having 3 inches, 4 inches high with this weather system, blowing and drifting low, not looking like a windy system. The visibility will have moderate impacts with the visibility sometimes getting below a half a mile, maybe localized lower amounts in certain parts of the area that get some of those heavier bands, which I'll show in future track. And we have a high threat here for travel being impacted, especially during the afternoon and during the commute. Here comes that snow here by the time we get to 8 o'clock in the morning. Boscobel over to Mineral Point, over to Monroe. Just had a weather model update as we speak right now. Getting up to Madison perhaps as early as 8 o'clock in the morning. Spreading across the rest of southern Wisconsin. Take note, we have some darker blues here than what we were seeing in our 5 and 6 o'clock newscast. Maybe even some heavy snow with lake effect enhancement over towards Milwaukee. But these darker blues are those moderate bands, and because we're seeing just a little bit more in the way of moisture coming out of this weather system, we're going to up the totals, like I said, just a little bit. 7 o'clock still coming down moderate across much of southern Wisconsin. 10 o'clock finally maybe some breaks in the snow up towards Camp Douglas and up towards La Crosse, with it still snowing decently here in Madison and points off towards the south and east and ending at 3 o'clock in the morning. Here are the changes with a little bit more moisture to ring out with this weather system. A likelihood of maybe 4, 5, or 6 inches of snow over southwestern Wisconsin, just nudging up here to Madison. A little bit less to the north, but still in the 3 to 6 inch range up towards the Dells over towards Beaver Dam, and still 6 to 9 expected in the Milwaukee area with respect to that lake effect enhancement. 1 to 3 inches if you have any travel plans, if you must travel up towards the La Crosse area. Then we have alert day set number 2. I said I'd give you a glimpse of this. This is Friday afternoon. Look at the snow, widespread all evening Friday night. 10 o'clock Friday night, still snowing at a decent rate here. We'll probably add at least another couple of inches of snow as we go into Saturday. What's still to be determined on Saturday is if we're going to get another reinforcing band of snow to form later Saturday afternoon that could continue to add to those totals. Then alert day set number 3, you get this snowpack. We're probably going to have a good 6 to 10, maybe a foot of snow across parts of southern Wisconsin when all is said and done between these 2 snow events. And with that deep snowpack and bitterly cold air coming down from Canada, that sets the stage for wind chills that could be approaching 25 to 30 below zero by the time we get into Monday. And that could last also into Tuesday. Likely going to be dropping these high temperatures by day and those low temperatures at nighttime to be below zero because of the heavier and deeper snowpack that I expect to be in place in southern Wisconsin. But the whole First Warn Weather team will be here tomorrow for live coverage with this first set of alert day conditions for accumulating snowfall.
And coming up in sports, bring on the Buckeyes. My Mike Hastings squad is looking forward to their trip to Columbus this weekend. That's next on News 3 Now. After beating Iowa to claim the season sweep over the weekend, Greg Gard's squad has to wait a bit for their next game. Actually, they have to wait a while. Wisconsin doesn't play Purdue until Saturday. Quick math, that's a week between games. Not ideal for a team who's on a roll right now, but don't worry. Greg Gard says the Badgers aren't going to take it easy this week.
We aren't relaxing. This isn't a time to take a breath. You have to continue to get better. You continue to find ways to sharpen us individually and collectively. So we got a lot of season left, and it's the competitiveness that I don't want them to, they can't dial that back, right? It was really good today. We ain't going back.
And speaking of Badger hoops, be sure to check out this week's Wisconsin Huddle with John Blackwell. We'll get you ready for their showdown with Purdue. Show airs on Friday at 6:30 right here on News 3 Now. When it comes to Ohio State, they're a definite thorn in Mike Hastings' side. Wisconsin got swept by them at home back in their Big Ten opener 4 months ago. But this goes a little deeper than that. The Buckeyes have won 6 of the last 7 meetings between the two. And after a rough couple of weekends for the Badgers, this group doesn't need much motivation as they head to Columbus.
You know what, they're not happy with how we played this weekend. You go back to the last 2 weekends, so there's motivation that way. And yes, it's this building last year, we went and played them late in that building, and they took 2 of them. And so it's a focus group.
Definitely on our mind. They've had our number even when I wasn't here, so we definitely use that as motivation, and we just need to play our game though and worry about ourselves, and we'll be good.
And in case you missed it, the Wisconsin women are off this weekend, but a trio of Badgers were honored for their performances against Minnesota over the weekend. Ava McNaughton was named the WCHA Goaltender of the Week. Vivian Jungles took home the league's Defender of the Week, and Casey O'Brien was tabbed as the conference's Forward of the Week. We're back after this.
Well, scientists are turning to their most powerful tech to track a comet heading for Earth. NASA is using the James Webb Telescope to monitor asteroid 2024 YR4. This object has a 2.3% chance of hitting the planet, so it's enough of a concern that scientists are using our best above the atmosphere tool to study the rogue rock. But time is of the essence, rather. YR4 will disappear from Earth's view in a few short months before reappearing in 2028. But if worse comes to worse, we'll have to send Bruce Willis and Ben Affleck up to stop it. This is how you know our producer, Abe, is a movie guy. And those guys could stop it. We'll be fine. Nothing can stop the snow from coming
I can't stop the snow. I'm sorry. I can't get out there and stop the snow from coming up from the southwest. We've inched the totals up just a tiny bit. Let's go to our weather maps. Looking at maybe more towards 5-6 inches of snow over southwest Wisconsin. This gets right up to Madison, includes Janesville. It's 6 to 9 inches over towards Milwaukee, where they have that lake effect. Push the 3 to 6 just a little bit further to the north, as it looks like with our weather system, we're going to have a little bit more moisture to work with, and that squeezes out just a little bit more snow, with considerably less snow if you're heading up towards La Crosse, if you have to travel at all tomorrow. We still have winter storm warnings in effect for southwestern Wisconsin, winter weather advisories for the rest of south central Wisconsin, and winter storm warnings to the east. Be sure to tune in tomorrow morning with Savannah with the latest updates.
And stay tuned, everybody. We're getting the snow. Thanks for watching News 3 Now at 10 o'clock. Have a great night.